Celtics versus Bulls.
We're back in the win column tonight. You can totally dig it. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Windy City Digits Bulls post-game edition. That's Vic. I'm Carl.
Excellent.
Bulls end the losing streak.
And then they ended winning streak too.
Yeah, and they ended the Celtics winning streak. Bulls win 121-107 tonight. Amazingly, the Celtics only have 4 losses on the season, and 2 of them have come. Skokes, what's going on, brother? 2 of those losses have come to the Bulls, at the hands of the Bulls. Can you believe that? And both of them really were blowouts for the most part.
No, I can't believe it. We either we match up really well with them, or we're playing a good game, when we're playing them. I mean,
Skokes, you're always the first guy here. So where do you want us to start tonight, brother? You tell us where we're going to start the stream tonight.
let's talk about the digits that were like your go-to guys, that played the best game tonight.
I just asked Skokes to see where he wanted to go with this. But let's wait to see what Skokes says. Patrick Williams. All right, what did you think of Patrick Williams tonight?
Are you asking me or are you asking Skokes again?
Skokes brought it up.
I thought Patrick Williams had a solid game. I thought it was one of his better games of the year. I saw him take a couple trips to the free throw line. He drew 2 fouls, I think, on guys on the Celtics. He took the ball to the hoop. He made his 3. He actually had a really nice fake crossover on Tatum and made a shot. He was aggressive. I'm happy with it.
So he went 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 4 from downtown, 2 for 2 from the line, 4 rebounds, no assist, 1 steal, but he did score 17 points tonight. So all 5 starters were in double digits tonight. So it was a +9. It's nice to see all the starters in plus territory tonight. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, kind of unfamiliar territory, quite honestly, to see all of them. I thought, I would have picked Patrick Williams as one of the guys. But then I also would pick the coach.
Okay, tell me why.
Okay, so one, I do like what he did to Zach LaVine that last game.
Okay.
Second, I felt that they'd made a concerted effort, at least in the first 3 quarters. First 2 for sure. How about that? To get in the ball to Vooch, and Vooch was facilitating the offense. The guys have done a better job trying to get the ball to him, although there's still times when DeMar and Zach miss Vooch when he's on a guy that's a mismatch. And I still think sometimes that's a problem.
Okay, so do you think that really is more the coach or more the players actually trying to execute the game plan?
I think that would be the coach. Yeah, I'm gonna direct this towards Billy Donovan, since I was really angry at him the other day. I think the players have to actually, implement what he wants them to do, but ultimately he must have driven that home quite a bit.
Look, to me, the only difference between tonight and the other night is that we hit shots tonight.
No, that was huge too. I mean, I screamed that to one of my kids. I go, much nicer when we're hitting shots.
Yeah, it looks better when you're shooting what we shoot tonight. When you're shooting 51% from the field, almost 50% from 3, it looks great, right? I mean, what they shoot, they shot 38% from 3, right?
The Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, they actually made more threes than us. They hit 19 threes. We had 14. But I think overall, let's see here.
19 right here, 19 of 50 they were. Yeah, I mean, honestly too, I thought our defense was pretty stellar most of the night. There were times when they left guys open, but for the most part, I thought they were staying on their men, most of the game. So I think that's why the Celtics also didn't shoot too well. But
I always think it's funny how we kind of have different takes on the game.
You just thought the Celtics were missing?
I don't think the entire team played great defense. I think the bench again played great. 7Z, thanks for checking in, man. Look, I think the bench when it comes in, especially when Javonte comes in, like Javonte and AC come in, like the defensive intensity picks up for sure, right? And I think we kind of get those 50-50 balls. But I think the defense plays like the defense is better, I think, with the bench. In the fourth quarter, it got a little hairy again.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
With what you were talking about with Zach and DeMar not necessarily moving the ball. Again, the difference between the other night and tonight was that Zach was hitting from deep.
Yeah.
He hit those shots. He's taking the same shots he took the other night. He hit them tonight. He missed them the other night.
I don't know. Half the game he was hitting. He was taking shots like he did the other game.
Yeah, but again, the same thing is that he hit him tonight, right? I mean, he scored.
Yeah, that's right. But they're not consistent on their offensive implementation. If they're really trying to feed the ball to Vooch to facilitate their offense and have basket cuts, they still get away from that too much. And you're right. They made shots. If they didn't make those shots, we'd probably be singing a different tune.
Yeah, like I think it's who's in the game because, again, look, when Zach and DeMar are handling the ball, especially in the fourth quarter, they're not slashing. They're not cutting. There was a couple times I think they could have gotten down to Vooch. There was one play in the fourth quarter, and specifically I can think of, where DeMar was trying to get it down to Vooch. He kind of hesitated. Vooch cleared out, and then DeMar got a layup out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think from that standpoint of it, I think that's where we were better tonight. But look, this is what it's going to take for us to win games, right? I mean,
absolutely, bud.
We're going to have to shoot pretty close to 50%, pretty close to 50% from three, I think, to win games, right?
50%, that's quite high, dude.
Look, if we shot 40% tonight from the three, we lose. I mean, just look at if you look at the digits, see how I work that in there.
That's what we're about, man.
If you work that in, let's see here. Levine needs to cut to the basket more often. Those step back threes are low. Yeah, but look, I totally agree. But that's his game. Like he's not the guy like he was when we got him from Minnesota. He's not that slasher anymore.
Okay, but Levine is our one guy that can hit 3-pointers. I mean, traditionally, like not this year hasn't been very good, but I don't want Zach to not shoot threes. I agree with him. I don't like those fadeaway 3-point shots. He had a really nice shot where he stepped right into it, 3-point basket, in the flow of the offense. Instead of him being one-on-one and the step back three. Yeah, I agree with him, but those threes.
Yeah, I totally agree with Seven here in the fact that when he's kind of dribbling the ball, the ball's not going to leave his hand, and then he steps back and takes that three.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Those aren't the greatest shots. I think when he catches that, like, even if he catches it and he's like 3, 4, 5 feet behind the line, if he's not dribbling, but he catches it and shoots, he's got a clean look. He's capable of making that shot.
No, we out-rebounded the Celtics by quite a big margin.
Well, I think that's part of it, right? It's one of the reasons why I think we're so good against the Celtics, because we're a matchup nightmare. Look, they especially like they were talking about, they got no one to match up with Vooch. They literally had no one to match up with Drummond off the bench. I mean, Drummond had 12 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. Just dominating when he comes in, and that's what we were missing last year, right? We didn't have that guy to come off the bench that could clear the boards for us, right? So,
what'd you think of Kobe White today?
I thought Kobe was fine at times. I think because Dragic got hurt for a little while there, he kind of had to play the point.
Yep.
Kobe's an off guard. Kobe can't be handling the ball. He doesn't make the greatest decisions when he handles the ball.
Nope.
So,
but I did like what Kobe was trying to do. Kobe was trying to drive the ball and dish it off, but he was getting himself in some bad positions. So, like, I think he was playing too hurried today.
I agree. Totally agree. Again, and part of that is, I don't know if he's just trying to, like, I know he's kind of thrown into different positions to where he's got the shooting guard, and then tonight he got kind of thrown into the point guard spot. Dragic only played 7 minutes tonight, I think, because of that shoulder injury, and hopefully it's nothing serious that's going to keep him out. But look, Kobe didn't shoot the greatest from the field. He shot 2 for 8, 1 for 6 from deep. He did hit 4 free throws, which was nice, right? And he had 3 assists, which was good. But he needs to. He's the catch and shoot guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the only way Kobe White's going to get those type of shots still is ball movement, pitch it into the middle to Vooch. When Vooch starts driving down, gets double teamed, him finding an open shooter. That was working really well in the first half.
I think the other thing I noticed tonight, and this is maybe the difference between us and other teams, right? Guys like the teams like the Celtics, Jeffrey, what's going on? Thanks for checking in.
Yo.
The Celtics are always looking for that extra pass, right?
They are.
And it doesn't matter if it's Jaylen Brown handling the ball or Tatum. They're always looking for that extra pass. They trust that the other guys like Marcus Smart and Grant Williams and Brogdon and White and those guys, they're going to trust they make that shot.
Well, that's a big difference between other teams and the Bulls team. We do not have a consistent 3-point shooter who can make those open 3-point shots.
I think my point here is more than that. It's that
I got your point, man.
No. My point. No, you didn't.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by Sprite to interrupt Carl's ramblings.
Thanks for everyone that's checking in right now. We appreciate everyone that's here watching us, especially the like we got on Facebook. So, no, look, the point I'm trying to make here is that kind of like in the fourth quarter we were talking about, when Zach or DeMar get the ball, DeMar had the one nice pass to AC for the layup, but those guys drive to the hoop. They're set that they're going to shoot the ball. They're not looking for that extra pass. They're not looking for the open guy. Tatum and Brown are willing to make that extra pass to find an open guy to get that shot. So that's where I think they're even more dangerous, because that's why guys like Grant Williams are open at the 3, Horford's open at the 3, because they're willing to make that extra pass. That's where the Bulls are going to. That's why I don't think the Bulls are going to be a team that gets out of the second round, because you would need Zach and DeMar to be perfect almost every fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because they don't trust the other guys.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? Skokes.
Yep. It's
a good night for me because Skokes totally agreed with what I just said. So it's a good night.
What about
you
me?
did too. You did too.
Shop liver over here. I agree with you. But the dynamics could completely change if we ever get Lonzo Ball back. But I'm not even. Some of the news on Lonzo Ball is he's not even running.
I don't think there's any need at this point to rush him back.
Apparently not.
Look, with the way the injuries have been with the way the injuries have been happening to us and even around the league, right? I mean, Tyrese Maxey is going to be out for a little while, for the Sixers, right? There's just injuries happening around the league. I would almost rather not see Lonzo until after the All-Star break and let him play the second half, and then he's ready for the playoffs.
I think that might naturally happen anyways, based on the reports on his injury still. I mean, minimal movement already. It's mid to late November. You've got you're right. I mean, it's not going to happen until at least the All-Star break.
I just don't see any reason to rush him back at this point. The rotation's kind of set right now. I think everyone's kind of settling into roles. At this point, it's just being more proficient on the offensive side. Yeah, I guess that's even not the point. We can score points. I don't think that's the problem. The problem is we can't play defense.
God, it's a combination at times. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'd have to look at the last couple of games, but I mean, I don't think we really have a problem scoring more than 110, 115 points a game. I mean, it's kind of like the Bears, right? Bears don't have a problem. Like, you would think 30 points is enough to win a game in the NFL. It's not, because we can't play defense, right?
All right. So I'm going to go back into history here. But we scored 121 tonight, 107, 110, 103, 111.
Yeah, but look at look at how many points the other teams are scoring.
4.
Right? Look at back the last 4 games.
Yeah, our defense was poor against Denver, the Pelicans, not Orlando. Orlando, we just played terrible on offense against Orlando.
Did you see Skoke's comments?
Man, no, I'm looking at a different thing.
So I just put up Skoke's comment on the screen here. If Zoe somehow isn't back after the All-Star break, then the situation gets very, very interesting. I totally agree. Because you basically paid for Lonzo, and he's basically played over a 2-year stretch, over only half a season.
I know.
And he's been out. Right now it looks like he's going to be out over a year, right? Because he got hurt last December, I think it was, or last January. So that's over a year that he's been out of service, right?
What do you think about this? I would not want Westbrook on my team. I like the 2 number 1 draft picks. So, like,
you know what? I think that's an interesting take.
I wouldn't want Westbrook, but I would take those 2 number 1 draft picks. That's not a bad take at all.
Especially if you don't think that you're going to make a run. If Zoe doesn't if Zoe isn't going to come back this year.
Yeah, you need to do something different.
Look, we've talked about this, right? And
Vooch is up after this year.
Yeah. Well, look, the part we've talked about is that Zach is your centerpiece. You sign him to the max contract. He's your $200 million guy, right? He needs to, at some point here, he needs to start being the featured player, right? Does that mean that you take DeMar away from this team so that you can literally focus on Zach and have Zach be the guy? I think at some point, at some point you're going to have to pull that trigger, right?
No, DeMar's still playing at a high level, man. He could probably play at this level another 3 years. So I don't know. That's a tough call.
Okay, look.
You know what? When Zach was in that second unit today, in that the end of the first quarter into the second quarter, they played really well together. And in fact, I thought Zach LaVine did a good job of driving to the hoop, dishing the ball out to the open man. He had 5 assists in the first half, and it was mostly when DeMar wasn't on the floor.
Okay, so but to your point here, right? I mean, DeMar's playing at a high level, right?
Yeah.
But your record is 500.
No, it's true. It's true. They're going to have some huge decisions here. I'm not against the trade at this point because I don't think this team is going to be a championship caliber team at all the way it's presently made. So that's really hard to tell. I mean, the Lonzo injury puts you at a really tricky part, man.
Look,
you're right. Yeah.
The comments tonight are great tonight. And 7, thanks for checking in. Thanks for contributing tonight. Glad to have you along. What's his name, Vic?
Wembanyama.
Okay, good job.
Thanks. It's like Aquamenius to me. Tongue twister.
This is an interesting take too. What do you think of that?
It's true. It's true, but then again, okay, so I mean that's where I say the variable Lonzo just screws everything up. Because it seemed to be that we were humming a lot better with Lonzo on the floor. He makes good decisions with the ball. He drives to the rim, he dishes them out, and that's exactly what the Bulls are missing. So with him on the floor, does that make this team a whole lot more dangerous? I don't know. It's hard to tell because that first half last year we played against a weaker schedule and we did really well. And then Lonzo got hurt. So how can you fairly assess this team without him back? And is it going to be enough time by the time Lonzo gets back after the All-Star break to really determine in 3 months what you do with this team? I think it's going to be. I would not want to be the GM right now.
I think the two biggest decisions. Look, the two biggest decisions you have to make at the end of this year, regardless of where they finish, right, is what do you do with Io and what do you do with Patrick Williams? Io's contract is up at the end of the year.
Well, Patrick Williams continues to play like he did tonight, and he plays some really good defense again like he did tonight. I thought he played a really good game against Tatum. And, if he continues to play like that, you want him on your team. Is he a starter? Not necessarily. He should be more like a Bobby Portis coming off the bench.
Who?
Patrick Williams. I still think he should be coming off the bench, quite honestly.
And you think Javonte should be starting?
I do. I think he brings more to the team with that first unit in making ball cuts where we don't have a whole lot of guys that do that other than Io.
I think he's more from the defensive side intensity more than anything else. If you can stop the other team from scoring even 4 points less in the first quarter, that's huge. Yeah, you can hold the team. Like 25 used to be the benchmark, right? But if you can hold a team in the first quarter under 30 these days,
man, that's 120. Scoring 120, man.
Yeah, well, look, over under in most games is over 220, 230 most games. So you're looking at 110, 115 points a game. Anyway, right?
We're gonna look that up right now, buddy.
So, look, overall, this is the type of game I think most Bulls fans thought that maybe this was going to be a tough game tonight, and we were just going to extend the losing streak. But credit to the Bulls. I mean, they showed up. They played well. I mean, and even without Dragic tonight, AC seemed to shoot well from the field tonight. Io played well. Kobe contributed, even though he didn't shoot great. He still scored 9 points off the bench. Drummond was huge with the 12 rebounds. AC with 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 for 4 from deep, 10 points overall. So 6 players in double digits tonight. So,
okay. So real quick before we get out of here, you can see the average scoring. Sacramento and Boston were the top 2. Mm-hmm. So there are only 2 teams that score over 120 points a game. So I guess you're right. If they score under 30, I guess that's good. I would say.
I think that's I guess what I would want to see is the first half numbers, because a lot of teams seem to score really high in the first half, and then a lot of adjustments are made. Tonight Boston was the opposite. They scored a ton of points in the second half tonight.
Yeah. So looking at this, you can see where the Bulls fall. You're not seeing them here. Still not seeing them here. 110 points a game right now, the Bulls. So they're middle to the latter half of the NBA scoring. And in terms of their defense, I'm not sure where we're at with defense. At one point, our defense was looking better. And they were talking about us being in the top 10 during a certain stretch. So
Skokes, that's an interesting take. So
Kobe's expendable after this year.
Yeah, look, I think the reason why you're seeing him play with Windy City Bulls is because he's getting playing time, right? He's not going to get playing time up here, and I think that was a good move by the Bulls to let him play down there, right, and get some time and start to develop. And the second, let's say Dragic is hurt tonight and he can't play for a couple of games, there might be an opportunity for Dalen Terry to get in for a couple of games. Who knows, right? Look, I think Dalen is going to give you something. It's just a matter, is it going to be this season or is it going to be next season, right? We're already going 11 deep on the bench. And when the one guy that didn't play tonight, I was a little surprised, was Derek Jones Jr., right? He was a DMP tonight, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, Billy D was just talking about what was it? Yeah, it was last game. He said Dirk Jones Jr. has been playing pretty well. I told Javante that I would be that his minutes might be limited. He didn't play that first entire half, but he also got roasted for not playing Javante Green because
In the first
Javante
half,
Green,
yeah.
yeah. So, by the way, the Bulls' defense is actually ranked in the top half of the league. They're holding teams under 111.6 points per game.
I think that's a little deceiving too. I'd be interested to see, like, they've got to be toward the bottom in 3-point defense.
I would not doubt that, man. Here, let me look at that. 3-point field goal percentage. That'd be shocking. Let's see.
They've got to be one of the worst. I would say top
seems
5.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's probably where we lose a lot of games because we can't defend a 3. Like they're
the third worst in the NBA against the 3-point shot.
Had to be in the top 5. I knew that we were in the top 5 in that category. So
yep. Every team scores really well against us, usually against the 3.
So the Bulls win tonight.
Nice.
Win tonight, 121-107. And the losing streak. We'll get Milwaukee next, who beat Portland tonight, 119-111. So it'll be an interesting game. We will see. Thanks for everyone that's checking in tonight. Skokes, Jeffrey, Seven was a new check-in tonight. We appreciate you being here. If you haven't had a chance, hit the like. That helps us out huge here on the channel. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell to get notified on future episodes. And we will see you guys in the next post-game video. Peace.
Love.
And digits.